Well, that was in the mid-'80s. My wife and I had just begun building our family, and I was working 60 to 70 hours a week, and I knew that I had to plan for the future, but I didn't really have the time, and I didn't have the knowledge or the experience. So that's when I realized that I had to basically retain the services of a professional to help me get to that place. Lisa Marie and I worked with William Bissett since late 2006, early 2007. He's kind of like a rock in a really sometimes turbulent water. We went through the financial crisis together. We went through the recession 2018 together. We went to the downturn in 2021, and all the little dips and valleys in between. He really provides that sense of confidence, comfort. He also works in partnership with me as the primary contact with William as we map a course for how we want to invest and how we want our returns to look and what our tax implications could be. So I think that the initial conversations were really quite good because we knew that William and Portus would produce. Easy. They make it easy. They make it easy for us to stay on track. They make it easy for us to understand the overall strategy, whether we're moving into fixed income or whether we're going to some special structured assets or trying to set up a line of credit. They take care of everything. I know that when we initially were going to have to move from Fidelity to Schwab, I thought, oh my Lord, all those accounts, we had 10 or 12 accounts, and Portus made it easy. I said, William, all I want to do is sign the documents that set up the accounts. You please just handle everything else. And well, there were a lot of documents, but they did make it relatively easy. So that's it. Easy. Well, I mentioned it earlier that we've gone through one incredible downturn, another one that wasn't as bad, but it was like a mini recession, and then of course the crazy tech crash in the early 2020s. It's really just stay the course, and again, Portus gives us that confidence. Me personally, I'm a long-term investor. I'm not a kind of person that wants to jump in and jump out. I've seen the results of having that kind of strategy and paying the taxes because of it, and then maybe not making necessarily the big gains that I thought we were going to make. So I like to thoughtfully work with William to decide what's the best route for us, and then go with it. Try not to get cold hands and jittery feet, and just stay with the flow. That doesn't mean that we don't make a collective decision to make adjustments, and that's really important. You can't just sail the ship blindly. You have to go and see where the wind's blowing and take advantage of the opportunities as it come along. So I feel as if we're able to do that with William and Portus. Yeah, well, I'm 71 now, so I've been retired for, has it really been that long? 6 years? 7 years? Oh, I don't know. It's so funny to go through the planning phase and the savings phase and the strategy phase and the returns phase. And then you're retired. And then there's no income. You know, I kid my younger brother. I said, "Oh yeah, don't expect me to pay for lunch because I'm on a fixed income of nothing." And we always have a good laugh about that. But I think that Portus and William's team, they've provided retirement in abundance without worry. That's really it. You can't get any better than that. Portus, the team at Portus have become friends. It's funny. I've rented John's house in the mountains for this fall autumn season. I gave Sakshi all kinds of recommendations from our recent trip out west. I don't really give William too much guidance on things, but maybe an occasional recommendation on some beautiful bourbon or wonderful Irish whiskey. And, you know, John's like 4 times smarter than me, so I really can't give him any recommendations. But Portus, they're just trusted friends, and my wife never lets me make any big financial decisions or us make any big financial decisions before laying it out on paper, then me sending it off in an email to William and say, "What do you think?" And then he goes, "I don't know, what are you doing tomorrow at 10? And then we kind of bang it back and forth. And from that, we decide to put a plan or strategy into effect that has to do with that particular investment idea or some other type of recommendation. So having your friends help you in these big financial decisions. They know all your ins and outs financially, personally. So that's really a big benefit. That's easy. I'd like to say we don't have to worry about our Social Security check getting deposited in our account, but we don't have to worry about our Social Security checks getting deposited in our account. You know, I talked about abundance before in retirement. We're exploring more, we're experiencing more. You know, we just booked a 17-day cruise on Viking in September. For the last 3 or 4 years, we've taken 6-week trips from South Florida to the west, Utah, Glacier, in Montana, Wyoming. The ability to do that in our RV drive and not worry about a thing other than the tractor trailer that may, you know, kind of swerve over and push us off onto the shoulder. But basically be worry-free about our finances has been fantastic. And that's why planning is so important. That's why I recommend to a number of my friends who are that I do executive coaching for. I guide them in their business, but I also guide them in their personal life, that they've got to get their house in order financially, their local stuff. And it's when you do that you're able to take and jump 10 or 20 or 30 years forward and see the benefit. And we are reaping the benefits of that kind of strategy and that kind of planning.